What if I told you that women over 60 are quietly losing one of the most powerful medicines their bodies already hold, simply because no one ever revealed the truth? And here's the danger. Ignoring this practice doesn't just steal your sleep and energy, it silently accelerates dryness, weakens circulation, and can even make you feel older than your years. The shocking part. This medicine isn't a pill, a surgery, or a cream. It's a natural, intimate self-care ritual your body has always known, yet society told you to be ashamed of it, to hide it, or to outgrow it. But science says the opposite. According to the Mayo Clinic and the NIH, gentle private wellness practices can restore restful sleep, rebalance, your mood support, vaginal health, and even bring back confidence in intimacy after menopause. Hello, my name is Dr. Lisa Perriera. I'm a gynecologist with more than 30 years of experience guiding women through menopause hormone shifts and the deeply personal challenges that too often remain hidden in silence. Over the decades, I've listened to thousands of women who thought their best years of vitality were behind them, only to discover their bodies were still capable of more energy, comfort, and joy than they ever imagined. Let me share a quick story. A patient of mine, Eleanor, age 64, came to me feeling exhausted. She cared for her grandchildren by day and worried about her aging mother at night. She confessed that she had given up on herself, saying, "Doctor, I guess this is just how life is now, tired, dry, and restless." But she was wrong. Through simple, natural self-care rituals, Eleanor rediscovered her ability to rest, to smile, and even to feel confident again. Her transformation wasn't about prescriptions, it was about permission. Permission to care for her own body. That's why today, I want to share with you 5 intimate self-care secrets women over 60 wish they had known sooner. These aren't shallow tips or gimmicks. They are evidence-based, compassionate, and deeply transformative. And I promise you this, the final secret, is so liberating, so life-changing, that once you hear it, you will never look at your age, your body, or your confidence the same way again. But here's the paradox. Society tells older women that self-care in this way no longer matters, that it's indulgent or even shameful. Yet the science is clear. It's one of the most powerful tools for protecting your health and happiness as you age. Before we dive in, I'd love for you to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another honest women's health video created especially for you. And because this conversation is personal, I want to invite you to interact. If this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 and let me know what matters most to your health right now. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn may completely reshape the way you see yourself, your body, and your future. Now let's step into the very first secret. It's the one most women overlook, yet it holds the key to calming your mind, easing your body, and reclaiming restful sleep. Stress doesn't disappear after 60. In fact, for many women, it feels heavier than ever. I see it every day in my office. You may be caring for aging parents while still supporting grown children. You may be navigating your own health concerns, worrying about finances, or quietly carrying the ache of loneliness when the house turns silent at night. These invisible burdens pile up, and too often women bear them silently, never admitting how overwhelming it feels. On top of that, menopause, hormones rarely make life easier. As estrogen and progesterone decline, your nervous system becomes more sensitive to stress. Cortisol, the stress hormone, sticks around longer in your system. That means racing thoughts at bedtime, restless nights, and mornings where you feel drained before the day even begins. The Mayo Clinic warns that chronic stress in postmenopausal women doesn't just harm mood, it raises blood pressure, slows circulation, and accelerates visible aging. The NIH confirms that disrupted sleep after menopause is linked to higher risks of memory decline and cardiovascular disease. Stress is not just in your head. It's a biological force reshaping your body. But here's the surprising truth: your body already carries its own built-in therapy. Gentle, intimate self-care. What I call your private wellness reset button activates natural chemistry that calms the storm. Here's what happens during arousal and release. Your body produces oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Endorphins rise, giving you that light-lifted feeling no pill can replicate. At the same time, cortisol levels fall, your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and your muscles finally soften. In minutes, your body remembers how to let go of tension. I'll never forget one of my patients, Barbara, age 63. She came to me exhausted, saying, "Doctor, I've tried everything, teas, meditation apps, even prescriptions. Nothing helps me sleep." When I gently suggested adding intimate self-care to her evening routine, she looked shocked, even embarrassed. But she agreed to try. A few weeks later, she returned, her face brighter, her posture lighter. With a smile, she said, "For the first time in years, I slept through the night. I call it my reset button." That moment wasn't magic, it was science. Her body finally had the chance to release the weight it had been carrying for years. And here's what's most empowering. Choosing private wellness is not indulgent, it's self-care. It's as essential as a walk in the morning or a glass of water for hydration. For women over 60, it's a declaration: my peace matters. My body still deserves attention. My well-being is worth protecting. Think of stress like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Most women simply adapt, walking slower, aching more. But when you allow yourself even 10 minutes of intimate self-care, it's as if you finally take off that backpack. Breathe freely and remember what lightness feels like again. And I want to be clear, if you're listening and thinking, "That sounds nice, but it's not for me," I understand. Many women were raised in homes where this subject was never spoken of, or worse, tied to shame. But science has freed us from that silence. Your health, your circulation, your sleep, and your emotional balance all benefit from what your body was designed to do. So tonight, instead of scrolling on your phone until midnight or reaching for another pill, consider giving yourself 10 quiet minutes of care. It may be the most powerful natural sleep aid you've ever tried, but stress relief is only the beginning. Because the next secret reveals something even more profound: how these same private wellness rituals protect your intimate health, prevent dryness, and keep your body vibrant long into the years ahead. Tell me, do you often struggle with restless nights or waking up at 2 a.m.? Share your experience in the comments below. You'll be amazed how many women in this community are walking the same path. One of the quietest but most painful questions women ask me in my office comes in a whisper. "Doctor, why does intimacy feel so different now? Why am I so dry, so tight, or even in pain?" When I never had this problem before, I can see the sadness in their eyes. Because it's not just about physical discomfort. It's about feeling like a part of their womanhood has slipped away without permission. Many women fear that this change means the end of closeness connection, or even their sense of femininity. Here's what I want you to hear clearly: this is not your fault. After menopause, estrogen levels fall sharply, and estrogen is the hormone that once kept vaginal tissues thick, elastic, and naturally lubricated. Without it, blood flow decreases, tissues thin, and dryness or discomfort can appear almost overnight. The Mayo Clinic notes that up to 50% of postmenopausal women experience vaginal dryness or pain. The Cleveland Clinic confirms that these changes can affect bladder function as well, leading to more frequent leaks or urgency. Yet most women are never told there is something they can do to keep these tissues healthy. Here's the empowering truth: you are not powerless. Just as walking keeps your legs strong and lifting light weights keeps your arms toned, Regular, intimate self-care acts as exercise for your pelvic and vaginal tissues. Every time you gently stimulate arousal, blood rushes to the pelvic region, delivering oxygen and nutrients. This circulation keeps tissues flexible, alive, and responsive. Think of it like watering a plant. If you stop watering, the soil dries, cracks, and hardens. But with consistent attention, the soil stays moist, soft, and ready to grow. Your vaginal tissues respond the same way. Use it or lose it is not just a saying, it's biology. I remember a widow named Janet, age 67, who came to me convinced her intimate life was over. She said, "Doctor, I feel embarrassed, even angry at my own body. Everything feels closed off." When I encouraged her to try gentle self-care, she was skeptical. But months later, she returned with a glow I hadn't seen before. She said not only did intimacy feel better again, but her bladder leakage during exercise had improved as well. With tears in her eyes, she told me, "I feel like my body belongs to me again." That moment stayed with me. Because for Janet, it wasn't just about physical comfort. It was about reclaiming ownership of her body after years of silence. So here's the lesson. Every time you choose private wellness, you are preserving sensation, protecting tissue health, and even supporting pelvic strength. You are not just surviving age, you are choosing to stay vibrant, alive, and confident. And let me reassure you, no matter how long it has been, it is never too late to begin again. Even if it has been years or decades, your body is still capable of responding. The next secret I'll share proves that beautifully. It's about women who thought their chance was gone only to rediscover joy later in life. So I want to ask you, have you noticed changes in comfort or dryness since menopause? You're not alone, and your story may help another woman feel less isolated. Share your thoughts below, because this community grows stronger every time we speak honestly. Over the years, countless women have lowered their voices in my office and asked with sadness, "Doctor, have I missed my chance? Am I too old to start now?" Some tell me they've never once practiced intimate self-care. Others whisper that it has been decades since they last considered it. The shame in their eyes is heavy, as if they are confessing a crime. And every time I lean forward, look them in the eye and say gently but firmly, it is never too late. Not at 50, not at 70, not even at 80. Your body is still yours. Pleasure, comfort, and vitality are still possible. Science confirms this truth. The NIH reports that nerve endings in the pelvic region do not disappear with age, they only grow quieter if unused. Circulation slows if ignored, but it can be reawakened with consistent care. Think of it like a garden in winter. The soil may look dry and the branches bare, but beneath the surface, life is waiting. With warmth, water, and attention, it awakens again. Your body works the same way. Let me share a story I will never forget. A woman named Linda came to me at 72. She had been raised in a strict household where any talk of intimacy was silenced. She married young, raised children, lived responsibly, and when her husband passed, she assumed her intimate life had ended forever. When I first suggested she explore private self-care, she laughed nervously and shook her head. "Doctor, that ship has sailed," she said. But something softened in her. She decided to try starting slowly, warm baths, gentle touch, simple moments of curiosity without guilt or expectation. Weeks later, she returned to my office transformed. Her eyes sparkled, her posture straighter. With a smile, she said, "Doctor, I finally feel alive again. I only wish I hadn't waited so long." Linda's story is powerful, but it's not rare. Research shows that women who begin self-care later in life often report greater confidence, improved mood, and a renewed sense of vitality. Age does not erase your body's ability to respond. It simply waits for you to awaken it. And here's the best part. Starting doesn't require anything extreme. It can be as simple as lighting a candle, putting on calming music, or allowing your hands to explore your skin with kindness. Each small step teaches your body to remember, and little by little sensation returns. The truth is this: every year of your life has given you wisdom, resilience, and strength. Those qualities now become allies in creating a deeper, more meaningful connection with your body than you ever imagined in your youth. Age is not a barrier, it's an invitation. And yet, as empowering as this is, many women still face one more challenge: they need support. Just as we use reading glasses when our eyes change, or supportive shoes when our joints ache, sometimes our bodies benefit from tools that make the journey smoother. That's why the next secret may surprise you. It's about a resource many women dismiss as shameful, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful tools of health. Before we move there, I want to ask you, do you believe it's possible to start something new even in your 60s or 70s? If you've had that experience, share it in the comments. Your story may be the encouragement another woman desperately needs today. When I bring up vibrators during a consultation, I often see the same reaction: a nervous laugh, eyes looking at the floor, or even a quick change of subject. Many women over 60 grew up in a time when vibrators were portrayed as shameful, something naughty or inappropriate. The very word toy made them sound childish, indulgent, or even dirty. But here's the truth. I want every woman to hear vibrators are not toys. They are powerful, practical tools for supporting your health, comfort, and confidence, especially after menopause. As we age, our bodies naturally change. Estrogen levels decline. Blood flow to the pelvic tissues slows. Natural sensitivity can fade. None of this means you are broken. It simply means your body needs more stimulation to respond in the way it once did. And this is where vibrators can be your allies. According to research from the Cleveland Clinic, consistent pelvic stimulation helps maintain blood circulation, nerve responsiveness, and tissue elasticity. In other words, using a vibrator is not about indulgence, it's about maintenance. Just as reading glasses help your eyes adjust or supportive shoes ease your joints, vibrators support your intimate health. Think of it like physical therapy. If you injure a shoulder, you use specific exercises or devices to restore movement. A vibrator works the same way for intimate tissues. It increases circulation, awakens nerve endings, and helps your body remember sensations that might otherwise fade. I recall one woman, 68, who came to me feeling defeated. She said, "Doctor, I just don't feel anything anymore. I avoid intimacy because it only frustrates me. Even walking past the pharmacy aisle where lubricants and devices were sold made her uncomfortable." I gently explained that a vibrator wasn't about shame, it was about care. A month later, she returned with a glow I will never forget. She laughed and said, "Doctor, I never thought I'd say this at my age, but that little device has changed everything. It's my therapy, my stress relief, and honestly, it makes me smile again." The relief and pride in her voice were unmistakable. Here's what I want you to know: using a vibrator does not diminish your femininity. It does not mean you are replacing someone or something. Instead, it enhances your connection to your body. It reminds you that pleasure, comfort, and vitality still belong to you no matter your age, and you are not alone. More and more women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s are discovering that vibrators are not taboo objects. They are wellness tools, just like a heating pad for sore muscles or a walker that steadies your steps. Giving yourself permission to use one is not weakness, it's strength. It's saying, my comfort matters, my joy matters, my body matters. This is about shifting perspective from shame to self-care, from silence to empowerment. And that leads us directly to the final secret: breaking the taboo once and for all. Because as freeing as it is to use tools that support your health, The deepest transformation comes when you let go of outdated rules that were never meant to protect you in the first place. Before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever thought of health tools like vibrators, the same way you think of glasses, shoes, or physical therapy aids? Why or why not? Share in the comments, I promise. Your honesty may encourage another woman who feels embarrassed to finally see things differently. For decades, women have been told in subtle and not so subtle ways that their pleasure doesn't matter. We could talk openly about hot flashes, cholesterol, or joint pain, but when the subject of private wellness arises, voices drop, eyes turn away, and silence takes over. This silence was not born naturally. It was taught. Families avoided the subject. Cultures reinforced shame, and entire generations of women were made to feel that self-care in intimacy was unnecessary, indulgent, or inappropriate. I think of one patient aged 66 who confided in me that she felt embarrassed just buying a small bottle of lubricant at the drugstore. She worried that someone would see her, judge her, and think she was doing something wrong. Here was a strong, intelligent woman who had raised children, built a career, cared for others her entire life, and yet she felt ashamed for wanting comfort for her own body. My heart broke for her, not because she lacked strength, but because she had been made to believe her well-being was less important than a stranger's opinion in a checkout line. Breaking this taboo is not just about using a vibrator or practicing intimate self-care. It's about rewriting the story you've been handed. It's about saying my body still deserves attention, my joy still matters, and my age is not a barrier to living fully. When you release that shame, something extraordinary happens. You begin to walk taller, smile, brighter, and even laugh more freely. You no longer wait for permission to feel good, you grant that permission to yourself. That freedom radiates in small but powerful ways, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you see your reflection in the mirror, and in the way you connect with those you love. And I've seen it firsthand. Women who once whispered with embarrassment now speak with pride about rediscovering comfort, pleasure, and confidence. They glow, not because they turned back the clock, but because they finally stopped hiding from themselves. Let's quickly recap the 5 secrets we've uncovered together today. Stress relief core. Intimate self-care calms your mind and restores restful sleep better than pills or wine ever could. 2. Use it or lose it. Regular self-care keeps vaginal tissues alive, elastic, and responsive, protecting long-term health. 3. It's never too late. Whether you're 50, 70, or even 80, your body can still awaken to comfort and vitality. 4. Tools of health. Vibrators are not toys. They're wellness tools that support circulation, sensitivity, and confidence. 5. Break the taboo. Releasing shame allows you to reclaim your freedom, your dignity, and your joy. If you take even one of these truths forward, your life after 60 can feel lighter, freer, and more empowered than you imagined. So I want to leave you with this thought: your age is not a closing chapter. It's an invitation to write the most radiant part of your story yet. You are not invisible. You are not broken. You are here, and you are still worthy of joy. If this conversation resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe and join our community of women over 60 who are rewriting what healthy aging looks like. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these 5 secrets spoke to you the most? And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.